Okay, today I'm going to discuss contingency plans. A contingency plan, by definition, is a plan devised for an outcome other than in the usual plan. Translation: It's a contingency plan is for something that you don't see coming, like an emergency plan, basically. And contingency plans, they're used by companies for risk assessment. Things, hazards in the workplace. And they're also used by governments as a means to deal with emergencies, or unforeseen events, like September 11th, something of that nature. And it's important for everybody to have a contingency plan for themselves and their family. In the event that everybody gets separated, that way, if your family gets separated, everybody knows where to go. And some things that you might need to consider in a contingency plan is time, safety, location, and what to bring with you. Time is important. You need to know how long it will take to get to your location or to put your plan into action. But normally there's different kinds of contingency plans. I'm discussing in the event that you have to leave your house, just to set the record straight. And like I said, you need to know how long it takes to get to the location that you've selected, or how long it takes to put your plan into action. Secondly, there's safety. How safe is your plan? Is there any special circumstances that that you have to adjust for? Like, say you have an elderly person on oxygen. How are you going to deal with that in the event an emergency rises? Is there, you have a certain location to get them to first where they'll be safe, then to take your family elsewhere until things settle down, or something of that nature, or if you have a special needs child that has extra medical issues you need to address. You got to take that into consideration in your plan also. And then, now we have location. Like, if you have to leave your house, workplace, school, whatever, like I said, if you can't go home, the second is, where else are you going to go? Considerations you need to look at is how close you are to the red zone. When I say how close to the red zone, that means, how close are you to the disaster, the enemy, whatever you may be facing. How close is your location to that red zone, which means what's the probability of your location being compromised. Because if it can be easily compromised in an emergency situation, chances are you need to find a better location. It's simple as that, And you got, like I said, things you got to look at is, do you have food, water, and shelter readily available? If you're scouting for locations and you find a location that is out in the middle of nowhere, if you can buy with it, build you a natural shelter, just something you can naturally put up, get a frame of something going, and practice this plan. Practice makes perfect. See how long it takes you to get there. Just do a drill every so often. See how long it takes you to pack your stuff up, get in your vehicle, whatever, and go. And then the next thing I'm going to cover is what to bring with you. If you have to leave your house for in an emergency situation, whether it be, like I said, a red zone for an enemy invasion, anything of that nature, some things you need to bring is, important documentation, birth certificates, medical records, Social Security cards. Then, the next thing you got, like I see, prescription drugs would come after that. Food and water. Basically bring a bag with you, and most importantly, bring cash and a firearm for self-defense. I can't stress that enough. And like I said, many situations can arise to where you have to have a contingency plan. Some I can think of off the top of my head is, since September 11th, terrorism has always been a big issue. So some things, worst case scenario, have contingency plans for like a biological nuclear disaster and natural disasters, and also in case shit hits the fan. Have a plan for each of those situations, and you should be fine. I mean, if you get a plan for general natural disasters, that's great, but you have one for like NBC events, have one for those, have gear for that, and then like in the case of an enemy invasion or something like that, like right now you have like Syria, Ukraine, and the civil wars going on, have a plan to get away from that too. Just things like that. Just make sure you have plans of action for those. That way, you have everything covered. That way, if everything's covered, when it happens, you'll be fine. Make sure, if you have children, make sure that your children know this plan inside and out. Make it easy for them to memorize, like a game, a song, or something like that, and that way they'll know where to go. Because if it ever does happen, children are going to be scared. They'll be scared to death. So make sure that they know that plan and they know it well. Hopefully nobody gets separated from their kids. But the thing is, if they're at school or something like that and it happens, schools, they're paranoid as can be when it comes to disasters. But if something happens, make sure you can get your children. Get your children, then go to your location, and get your children. In case of any situation, get your children. That's the most important thing. Get them, no matter what the cost. Get them. I know if I had a kid and there was a disaster going on, and the school or whatever said, no, you cannot have your kid, I'd be like, if it was a disaster where they said, well, we can't release them and stuff, I'd be like, well, you know what? It's my.
Don't release them during a disaster. You just have to come in and sign them out.
It's my. Well, obviously, you can sign them out, but as these liberal schools get, I'd say some of them would probably be reluctant. But if the disaster affects the whole area, if they don't turn the school out and the kid is stuck at school, find a place close to the school that want to come on to get to. Meet them there. If you cannot access the school. But if you can access the school, get your kids, then take them to the location. So when you do your drill, account for that type of time too. Time yourself from the school to your bailout location or wherever it is you may be going. It's this video. I can't really stretch it out any. It's simple, cut and dry. When you have a contingency plan, everyone needs to have a contingency plan, whether it be for a house fire, natural disaster, or whatever the hell it may be that you're prepping for, but everyone needs to have one. And like I said, probably tomorrow I'll be discussing certain things. I'll either be doing discussing the bailout bag, what you need to have in there, or I might be showing you how to make hardtack and sharing a couple of storage recipes with you guys. But I'll see you all tomorrow, and I'll make sure I have the video up. Hopefully not as late, because today I kind of got sidetracked. My wife had to take care of some issues, and I've been helping her take care of those issues. So I kind of got a late start. So I'll sign off for now, and then tomorrow we'll have another video up. So I'll take it easy. Follow us on Facebook. Look up Outlaw Ordinance. Join the group. Feel free to comment here, like, share my videos on Facebook. I would greatly appreciate the views. Everybody be safe and take it easy, and thanks for listening to Outlaw Ordinance.